As Africa's population continues its swift upward surge, demand for energy continues to rise. Since biomass is still the main source of energy, the strain on the continent's fragile environment is enormous. Sustainable Community Development Services, SCODE, a non-governmental organization started in 1995, has been working with communities in the provision and promotion of effective, efficient, and sustainable clean energy technologies.
Our mission is to facilitate the adoption of cleaner energy technologies and sustainable land use approaches through capacity building and applied research for enhanced livelihood for both men and women.
Conversely, a key factor affecting the efficient use of fuel is the type of cooking technologies used. SCODE is involved in an exciting industry that is developing various improved cookstove designs that are changing lives in rural Kenya.
First we have kunimbili, which uses firewood and charcoal, both charcoal, that is why it's called kunimbili. Then we have KCJ, that is Kenya Ceramic Jiko, which uses charcoal alone. We also have portable, Maendeleo portable, which uses firewood alone. And then we have also Maendeleo stove, which is constructed permanently. And the other stove that we have is a rocket stove, which we also built permanently using bricks and sand.
Limited access to energy is a problem that has a disproportionate effect on women and children, especially in rural Kenya. Ordinarily, it is women who must spend a lot of time and effort to supply fuel for their households and productive needs. Using their own labor, women carry heavy loads over long distances at great risk to their own health and safety. It is therefore critical to take into account the concerns and experiences of women as well as of men in introducing new clean energy technologies. It is in this respect that ENERGIA International Network on Gender and Sustainable Energy is working with SCODE to build its capacity to mainstream gender in its improved cookstove project. This documentary will show how such integration will ultimately lead to gender equity by bridging the existing gaps in promotion and adoption of renewable energy products and services.
One of the aspects that was brought on board was incorporating gender into our own ongoing work so that we can make a segment of society that was left out or marginalized much more productive in the promotion and the use of the technologies and approaches that we have been promoting. And that's the reason why we got into gender mainstreaming.
Founded in 1996, the ENERGIA International Network on Gender and Sustainable Energy has become the leading institutional base for mainstreaming gender into the energy sector in developing countries. It reaches out to more than 8,000 practitioners worldwide and has a direct presence in 22 developing countries through national gender and energy networks in Asia and Africa. ENERGIA works from the realization that projects, programs, and policies that explicitly address gender and energy issues will result in better outcomes in terms of the sustainability of energy services, as well as the human development opportunities available to women and men. One of ENERGIA's key intervention strategies has been to provide technical and financial assistance to 34 projects that have committed to scale up energy services that meet women's household and productive needs. The Clean Household Energy Dissemination and Enterprise Development Project implemented by SCODE is one of those projects which has seen SCODE enhance its Energy Resource Center, subsequently serving the project beneficiaries and partners efficiently. Our journey starts in the far-flung village of Kiria in Murang'a County with a group that produces jiko liners. Joseph Mwangi Muriuki is a member of Kiria Clay Association. The group applies modern business and production skills learned from SCODE. The training undertaken by SCODE mainly focused on gender mainstreaming concepts in the energy sector. For instance, entrepreneurs and institutions are empowered on how to plan, implement, and monitor energy projects in such a way that both men and women not only contribute to the activities but also share in the benefits.
Hii biashara nilianza wakati watu wa SCODE walikuja 2005. Wakatufundisha kujenga majiko na kujenga kioo. Sasa kutoka hapo tukaendelea na baada ya kujenga wakatufuata wakaona sasa rekodi hatujui kuweka, wakatuita Nakuru, tukaenda huko tukafundishwa hii inaitwa business entrepreneurship, record keeping.
The production line in Muriuki's group employs both women and men in the design and molding of the stove liners without any gender discrimination. The adoption of a new lighter and improved potter's molding wheel has a number of benefits. Women in Muriuki's group are able to engage in the production line that previously was tedious, and the group can now produce smaller and more efficient stoves and in large quantities.
Ile mzito inatengeneza laina kubwa sana. Sasa ukitengeneza kubwa sana, clay inaenda mingi, pottery sand inaenda mingi, na pia moto yake inapotea mingi. Sasa ndio hii sasa tuliletewa na SCODE, ilikuja kama imerekebishwa. Sasa ikawa kidogo ile ni energy saving kabisa.
Once the liners are molded, the next step is firing them, and the technique used in doing this has a direct impact on quality of the liners. Initially, the group would fire the liners on an open fire, but through the training and facilitation from SCODE, they now have a modern and energy-efficient kiln.
Iko wakati tulikuwa tunachoma nayo hiyo liners. Sasa ukichoma nayo hiyo jiko ilikuwa inapasuka kwa sababu ya sudden firing. Sasa ukichoma na hii kiln, tukaona inatoka vile uliweka tu. Na tena ukichoma na hii open firing haiwezi iva mpaka ndani kabisa. Ukifuja moja kama imechomwa na open firing, utaona line ya black katikati, kuonyesha ukiweka kwa maji itapasuka mara mbili. Na tena open firing haina degrees mingi. Hii inachoma kwa degrees za juu sana, kama 900 to 1000.
The project encourages group formation of both men and women to incorporate various needs and views by enhancing innovation and capacity building, thus adding value to the business.
Tuliingia kwa kikundi 06, ndio tulianza kikundi. Sasa hii biashara tunafanya tukiwa kikundi ambayo imechanganyika, tuko na wanaume na tuko na wanawake. Lakini sana sana kwa wakati huu niko upande wa marketing. Hata ingawa najua kuuda, sasa marketing ndio ninafanya sasa. Sana sana hata wale wamama tuko naye kwa hii kikundi, tunaona hata wamama wengine sasa tunafanya marketing. Sababu tunaona ni mzito, wamama wanashindwa kuchukua hii matope na hiyo molder. Sasa tukaona wazee waude na sisi tuwe tunapeleka nje kwa soko.
Margaret Mudhoni Njoroge, the team leader of Jupiter Group, also oversees the marketing of the stoves. Today, she is leading the group in a strategy meeting which they hold every fortnight.
Bila kuweka records za biashara yako, utakuwa haujui mahali unaenda ama mahali unatoka.
The success that Margaret's and Muriuki's groups have reaped since they formed is far much more than they would have if they were operating individually. The gender mainstreaming process included trainings on record keeping, as in the case of Jupiter Group that is involved in marketing of improved cook stoves. This has served as a monitoring tool to gauge the growth of their business progress. Margaret is among the people who benefited from the entrepreneurship training undertaken by SCODE, where both men and women were equipped with production skills. By training both men and women, the project realized a host of benefits, which include changing the perception that women cannot succeed in manual business. Women in the project area are able to undertake various income-generating activities which were previously a preserve for men, and both men and women became involved in the business as entrepreneurs.
Zamani tulikuwa tunauda vitu alafu zinaharibika. Tena tunauda majiko kwa sababu ya vile tulikuwa hatujui kuweka ratio ya matope na hii sand. Tulikuwa tuna mix vibaya. Kwa hivyo tukipeleka kuchoma zinafujika sana. Lakini wakati walikuja wakatufundisha, nauda vitu kidogo na zinakuwa nzuri.
Wherever there is a need, there exist opportunities, and the group is constantly expanding its production capacity by constructing more firing kilns and training its members. Members who have already received the training and support from SCODE pass on the skills to those who subsequently join the group. Women are also encouraged to take up leadership positions through participation, and more so to take up major roles in the group. The primary raw material used in the production of liners is the potter's clay. The potter's clay is dug out from shallow mines in Kigumo in Murang'a County.
Sisi wakati tunatengeneza hizi majiko, iko mahali tunataka kununua clay. Alafu tunaenda mahali ingine bali na huko tunanunua hii pottery sand. Sasa sababu ya kununua pottery sand, ukinunua clay peke yake, hiyo kitu utengeneze itapasuka ikiwa ni bila clay. Unakusanya na pottery sand na ratio ya 2:1.
Raw material is a key enabler to the success of any business. For Kiria Clayworks, quality material is crucial in their production line. However, improved cook stoves raw materials are to be found many miles from the point of production.
Ni ndabereirie ki 88 ndabereirie hii haiwezi kufanya hiyo kazi ya majiko ama nyungu, sababu haina hii ngamu, inawezekana kuna hii ngamu ya juu. Oko ni miejere nayo ni ukweja irima weja ni undu wa mai kuingihari rigatuika riu ona ringi no thame hau tondu riu kire giatuika ni nguka nene riu no egute hau ucarie handu hangi.
Transporting the wet clay from the mines to the point of sale is a strenuous task that poses a great challenge to William. He engages the services of local women who have to carry the heavy loads on their backs. Miriam Wairimo, a single mother of 5, is one of the women regularly hired by William to carry the clay to the sale point. The group is optimistic that with partners like SCODE, they can start producing jikos.
Mbeca iria turihagwo ri ringi ciganaga o irio cia muthenya oro ucio no tutingiona cia rucio atuoni ya kesho ile inaweza kuwa na faida. Tunaweza kutengeneza hii nyungu majiko na tukitengeneza saa ingine tutapata faida.
From central Kenya, we travel to Nakuru in the Rift Valley. Here we meet a resilient Margaret Njoroge who attests to the significance of SCODE's intervention in the improved cook stove business. With the knowledge attained from SCODE's training, she has assisted many women in Bahati to not only acquire but also get into the business of improved cook stoves as installers, and they are now reaping maximum benefits from the installation and use of the Maendeleo jikos.
Tumekuwa tukitembeleana, unaona mwingine ana shida nyumbani ya jiko, na vile nimetembea na nikajua kule kwa SCODE kuna hiyo majiko ya kisiku hizi, inatusaidia kupunguza kuni, usafi, na tena hata hatari, inapunguza hatari na wakati mambo kama hayo. Sasa ndio nikawaelezea na wakaona ni vizuri, tukaungana na tukaanza kushikana, tunatoa pesa ndio sisi wote tuwe na hiyo majiko.
This awareness has stimulated positive thinking about gender mainstreaming objectives and rationale among project target groups and beneficiaries like Margaret Njoroge, so that they now play a more proactive and effective role in mainstreaming gender in their respective undertakings within the ICS value chain.
nasaidianaga na wamama vile nilifunzwa, nikatrainiwa kuuda hizi majiko, hii maendeleo liner. Ninawajengea juu nilitrainiwa na SCODE. Nikishawajengea wananipa kitu kidogo. Kama ni jiko moja inastahili wakati huu vile uchumi iko juu 300, lakini wanalia. Mwingine anasema nakatiwa natoa 250, kama ni bili 500.
A number of business women have embraced improved cookstove retailing in line with SCODE's intentions of integrating women entrepreneurs in the improved cookstoves value chain. Dorcas Kamau from Olkalau has taken up improved cookstoves business to enhance her income.
Masomo nimepata kadhaa. SCODE wamenialika ya entrepreneurship, pia ya business planning, na mpaka sasa naweza fanya business plan yenye naweza fanya projection hata ile biashara yenye nitafanya kesho, na hata naweza fanya business plan yenye naweza pelekea kwa wafadhili na hata nipate mkopo ya kuendeleza hii biashara.
The approach to mainstream gender in energy has not only benefited the consumer but also the dealers of clean energy products, as Dorcas explains.
Wakati wababa wanaingilia jambo kama hii ya majiko, uuzaji unaenda haraka, kwa sababu mwanzo wababa ndio wanatoa pesa na sasa wamekubali kutoa pesa. Kwa hivyo wakati wababa wameshika hii jambo ya majiko, mauzo huwa inaenda juu, kumaanisha hata profit yangu inakuwa juu.
Nevertheless, an exciting development is the introduction of a number of improved cookstove products designed specifically for use in the rural setting where affordability and functionality are significant. Njoro in Nakuru is an area with scarce fuel resources, but members of a women's association, Njokerio Women's Group, can now prepare their families' meals easily with the Maendeleo cookstoves, which save energy, thus reducing the amount of firewood used.
Faida hii majiko inatumia kuni kidogo sana, kwa sababu vile kitambo nilikuwa nikitumia kuni nyingi, saizi ninatumia kuni kidogo sana. Sababu nikinunua kama for example ya 300 nitamaliza mwezi nikiwa na hizo kuni. Kwa hivyo nimeweza kusave pesa ambazo zimenisaidia kwa pande ya watoto, kuwanunulia nguo, kuweka vitu zingine wanyama, kufuga wanyama kama sungura na kuku na mbuzi. Kwa hivyo imeniinua kimaisha.
The introduction of these improved cookstoves has led to better understanding of the project baseline situation in terms of the attitudes, practices and interests of target groups and beneficiaries.
Sasa tangu tuanze mradi wa huu majiko, ni watu kama zaidi ya 40 wameweka hiyo majiko kwa kijiji chetu. Na hata saizi kuna wengine bado wanazidi kuhitaji wanapokuta kwa mwingine kuko na jiko kama hiyo. Wale hawajaweka sasa kwao wanalia kuni kila saa, wanasema kuni zinaisha kwa sababu sasa zinaenda nyingi. For example, anaweza nunua punda 3 kwa mwezi na mimi nimenunua punda 1.
Another thrilling aspect of gender mainstreaming from SCODE is the construction of the rocket stove. SCODE is creating awareness to strengthen the community towards gender mainstreaming objectives, practices and perceptions that perpetuate gender inequality in improved cookstoves use.
The gender in ICS project came along because there was some gender gaps within the activities that SCODE has been carrying all along in the implementation or in the business of the improved cooking stoves. So when we noted that we have those gaps, and then we requested or we approached donors to help us to close such kind of gender gaps through training, through bringing more and capacity building so that we bring women in board.
SCODE has taken up the initiative of mainstreaming gender by first strengthening its capacity as an institution. For example, both men and women staff members involved in the project were trained and involved in field activities that are generally viewed as a male preserve. One such activity is in the construction of the rocket stove, where SCODE is encouraging women to participate.
The first thing that we have done, we have increased the number of trainers from our organization. And when we go in the construction site, we make sure that they see women participating to remove the misconception in their mind. And again, we are encouraging women to participate even when we visit them in groups and show them the importance of why they should be involved in the construction.
Agnes Wamboy learnt of the improved cook stoves from the area agricultural officer who directed her to SCODE. Installation of the rocket stove has changed the way of life for Agnes.
Kitu ambacho nimeona kimenisaidia sana ni upande wa kuni. Nilikuwa nikitumia kuni mzigo kama 4 kwa mwezi, lakini wakati huu kutoka nijenge hili jiko ninatumia mzigo mmoja wa kuni.
The introduction of the improved cook stove project by SCODE has further provided an alternative source of income that has seen producers, retailers and installers of the ICS meet their daily income needs from the business. Paul Mushoki, an artisan, has been in this business for the past 6 years, a venture that has helped him raise and maintain his family. Paul's business got revamped after he got training on business management from SCODE.
Zamani ilikuwa mzito kidogo, lakini kuna wakati tulikuwa tumeenda Nakuru kwa seminar, tulikuwa tumeitwa na watu wa SCODE. Toka siku hiyo ndio nilijua kupanga kazi yangu vizuri, kwa sababu walisomesha vile juu ya kuweka record na kutofautisha kwa pesa yenye nimeuza ya faida ni gani na ya kazi yenye imebaki kwa kazi ni gani. Alafu walitufunza mambo mingi kwa sababu nilisomea huko mpaka kutengeneza hizi marinas ya jiko. Sasa kutoka siku hiyo nimeona tu nikiendelea vizuri kwa sababu hizo mawe za kuweka jiko hizo za ndani hizo za kutengeneza na matope zinanisaidia kwa sababu zamani nilikuwa ninanunua lakini sasa ninatengeneza zangu.
Wood is one of the oldest forms of fuel to be used by mankind, but because it is cheap and so readily available in the rural areas, it is dwindling fast. It is therefore imperative that communities make use of trees sustainably to keep forests for future generations. In order to bridge the existing gender gaps in the control of land as a resource, the project sought to bring together men and women aboard by training them on the importance of planting woodlots and its economical and environmental value. It emphasized on the roles men and women have to play in tree planting to ensure the success of the process, thereby giving women control on the decisions pertaining to land management, including planting of woodlots. Jane Wangoi is one farmer reaping maximum benefits from a woodlot she planted a few years ago. The money her husband would spend on buying firewood from the forest is now channeled towards other family needs.
Ninyonete utiganu wa kuma hindi yo twathiaga kugira go forest ni tondu hindi yo ni twanogaga muno na mahinda maria mundu anogaga ndangĩona gĩa kũruga tathite forest.
Jane, like other small farmers, has set aside a small portion of her family land to plant a woodlot that not only caters for her daily energy needs, but also supplements her family's income.
Niĩ reke njuge ũhoro wa kũhanda mũtitũ nĩ ũndeithĩtie mũno niĩ ndĩ mũtimia ũrĩa wathĩnĩkaga tondũ rĩu ndithĩnĩkaga ndeciria kuga ndemerwo mũtĩ no gũtemerwo ndemagĩrwo ndauga njinĩrwo makara ngacinĩrwo makara rĩu o ũndũ o wothe rĩu nyonaga ũrĩ ũteithio mũnene harĩ niĩ na mathaa macio ndathiaga rĩ nĩ hurũkaga na ndiũkĩraga tene ũrĩa ndokagĩra nĩgetha thiĩ mũtitũ ngĩre ngũ njoke njũke nĩgetha nduge na thiĩ mũgũnda. Nĩ nyonaga arĩ ũhoro mwega tondũ ndingĩthĩnĩka nĩ mbia kana ũndũ ndĩrenda gwĩka ndingĩaga gwĩka tondũ nĩ ikũndeithia.
The connection between the woodlots and the stove that we advocate is that most of the women buy stoves, and after buying stoves they go and purchase firewood from the forest where it is a far distance. So we advise them to have woodlots in their farms so that they can be saving a lot of energy, moving from their place to the forest and using less firewood when they are using the improved cook stoves.
SCODE is touching many people's lives in central Kenya and the Rift Valley by being at the forefront in gender mainstreaming, facilitating access to cleaner and more affordable forms of energy through modern production and entrepreneurial skills. Its paramount objective is to enhance and increase awareness, strengthen community support towards gender mainstreaming objectives, and reaching communities who currently have very few options.
From the organization's perspective, that is something that we would want to take to the next level. We think that gender mainstreaming is something that we missed in the beginning. We perhaps didn't have a platform where we would have included or integrated it, but right now we feel that we are in a position to actually take it to the next level, in a sense that we will not only use it within the improved cookstoves projects, but we can also get it into biogas, into solar systems, and even at a bigger scale.
This partnership between SCODE and ENERGIA on mainstreaming gender in improved cookstoves has realized the goal of improving the livelihoods of people in Kenya by supporting the adoption of appropriate clean energy products and services that would be used for domestic and commercial purposes. The project's achievements include adoption of firewood burning improved cookstoves increased from 17% to 37% in project area. 20% of women using improved cookstoves in the project area established their own woodlots for fuel wood supply. 30% of the leaders of the project's common enterprise groups, CEGs, were women. 50% of all improved cookstoves entrepreneurs trained through the project on business management and marketing were women. On average, sales of improved cookstoves entrepreneurs trained through the project increased by 20%. Retention rate of women clay molders who received training increased by 40%. 40% of stove entrepreneurs trained through the project who received funds from microfinance institutions were women. Women's clay mining output in project area increased by 10%, and women made up 20% of participants in the training on production of rocket stove models, previously provided only to men.